I'm Gwinnetta Wright.
And I'm Deontay B.
And welcome to Gwen's Business Corner with Deontay B, the Genius Talk Edition. Yeah, we made. All right now. So, if you don't know what Genius Talk is or what Gwen's Business Corner with Deontay B is, we are a live and televised show where we interview business owners, entertainers, freelancers, anybody that do business. And try to educate you so that you know what's going on in this world of business and entertainment. So today on Genius Talk, this is very, very special to me. This is special Genius Talk to me. Because I'm getting ready to drop a book. I'm getting ready to drop a book that I've been trying to drop for the last year called Branding the Right Way. Whenever I brand the right way. Congratulations. Brand the right way. So me as a business owner, I've been a business owner for 11 years, if you don't know. And as a business owner, what I've learned is that a lot of business owners do not know how essential branding is to their success. But not only that, they don't really even know what branding is. Because a lot of times as business owner, we think the branding is getting a business license, getting a logo, getting a business name, and we got a website, now we got a brand. But a brand is so much bigger than that. And so today, because it's the beginning of the year, we're still in that mode of reaching our goals, and this is going to be the best year of our lives. So if you're in business and you want it to be the best year of your life, you got to get your branding right. So we definitely have a excellent panel today here with us. Thank y'all for coming.
You're welcome.
And so I'm going to let each one introduce themselves, but I'm going to tell you why I chose this panel and the services that they offer. And so I chose the two in the middle, which is Terrence and Mercedes, because they work on my brand. And working on my brand, you got to know what you're doing, okay? And so I thought it was very important that I brought them here today to be able to share the knowledge and the nuggets that they give me to excel my brand. And then I also brought Mrs. Brandy Kennedy and Mrs. Shayna Boston with me as well. I thought they would be great for the panel because the services that they provide are services that you need for your brand. And so, Didi, what you thinking about this in this today's session?
Well, I just think it's like I'm excited about what I'm gonna learn because with me and Brandon, the brand gets out there, but I don't be doing really all that much that I should be doing. So.
Yes.
Well, so I always get yelled at by my best friend about branding. For those of you who don't know, and I've even done a strategy session with her to make my brand grow.
Yeah,
But, it's just like, hey, it's just fly by night. So.
So we're going to start with you, Brandy. So I want y'all to introduce who you are and what service you provide for a person that, trying to build their brand.
Okay. Hello, everybody. My name is Brandy Kennedy. I'm a web designer, a Wix web design expert, and a digital marketer. I basically make your brand look beautiful. I make sure that it translates online, whether it be social media, your website, so that when people see it, they know who you are, what you have going on, and that you connect.
Okay.
And I'm Mercedes Parham. I call myself a creative engineer, and that's because I kind of mix the scientific, nerdy kind of stuff with branding. I've been told today not to go too far into the nugget stuff. But if you want some nuggets, I can give you some nuggets. So I do a lot of data-driven decision making to help you make sure that the branding decisions that you choose are actually right for the lane that you need to be in. So I tailor everybody's lane, and that can include public relations, media relations, crisis communications management, but more on the side of strategic marketing of branding. So it's a lot of developing your content in a way that is going to actually be meaningful and give you a good return on your investment with a set strategy that you can go back, look at it, and determine what's best for you short-term, long-term, and many years down the road.
That's Mercedes.
Well, my name is Terrence Flowers. I'm just a photographer. But with my photography, I can't help you with your brand, making it look good. I can make you look great. I'm also a videographer, so I do commercials from anybody needs a commercial for their business. I do short films and any just all-around media guy. So we offer sound, lighting, so that's what I do.
Awesome. Well, my name is Shayna Boston, owner of Boston First Administrative Management Services. We are a virtual assisting company where we assist small businesses, busy professionals, and executive men and women with their administrative mundane tasks. And usually in the administrative world, I'm dealing with the web developer, the photographer, the marketer, the brander, and I'm the one that handles it. I'm the handler. I have that hashtag, the handler, and also the behind the scenes queen. So all those behind the scenes things, those mundane tasks that business owners have to do but don't want to be bothered doing, they give it to me to handle, while they can focus on income producing tasks, focusing on the branding, the marketing, where you should be, how you should look, and all those different things. And I help put those things together.
I told you we had a 5 audience. A 5 panel. So let's jump right into it. Let's see what they're going to give us, what knowledge they're going to give us. I'm going to try not to jump in this, Lord. Lord, help me, Jesus. Let me let them talk, Jesus. Okay. So today's topic is branding the right way. You know, some people would say that, you know, it's not no really particular way for you to brand the right way. But I'm going to say it is because we're going to be branding the right way around here. So just in your professional opinion, based off what you know about branding, especially your particular service, what do you think branding the right way is? Like, what are the key things you think branding the right way is?
I'll say,
Ladies first.
Is having your key players in your team, on your team. You have to have a marketer, you have to have a web developer, you have to have all those people that make up the branding team. Not everybody is focused on doing websites or doing the actual market or the videographer, photography. It's a team that has to be put together who understands what their client is trying to do. Not just for the now, but for the future, where they're growing, where they're trying to go. So branding the right way, for me, is actually having your team together. The people that understand you, they understand your vision, they understand where you're trying to go. And then from that, you pick the right people who align with that dream. So branding the right way is having the right team.
I like that.
I would say in what I do, branding the right way is standing out, making some kind of image or producing some kind of photograph that's makes somebody say, wow. Being a photographer is hard because every person in this room has my tool of choice in it, which is a camera.
Right.
So a lot of times people cut corners nowadays, so I can do it myself. I got an iPhone 10 or whatever. So in my photography, how I brand myself, I try to picture what can I do that iPhone cannot do. And that's how I go into my photo shoots. And it's a couple people up here, I think, 3 of y'all up here that have a taste of my skills, and y'all know how I do my thing. So that's what branding is to me.
Well, what you said, refining that lane that you need to be in is branding. It's that skin to your business. So think of that as your outer skin. It's the first thing that people see and feel and can relate to. So if it's something that's not in the right lane or doesn't really offer a service that people want, they're not going to relate to it and draw in closer to what your actual business is. And the inside of your business is that's how you make money. But you got to get this right first.
For me, branding the right way means having a real vision. I think I work with a lot of entrepreneurs that are, at the ground floor. They can't afford the team yet. Yeah. They are literally at the ground floor of their business. And what I see is a lot of them don't really have the vision that they think they have. They come to me for a website and they don't have the mission statement. They don't have a vision statement. They don't have photos. They don't have, they don't have the foundation laid out yet. So for me, it's sitting down and figuring out what you want to do, how you want to do it, where do you see yourself in 5 years, in 10 years, in next year, and then putting that all on paper so that you can present your vision to the right people at the right time so that you can brand the right way.
Absolutely.
Amen, branding the right way. So with that being said, you each offer, of course, a service that everybody needs.
Right.
So what is that one thing that your service provides that you feel like they really, really need to have, that you can offer?
For me, with websites, I have a marketing background because I've had other businesses. So most web designers, they are kind of one-tiered. They have one tunnel vision just to make your brand look pretty. For me, I go into making your website functional, making sure whatever your vision is, if you're trying to make sales, that it's functional, and that's what it's gonna work for that, so that it's not just pretty. It's not just a visual thing. It actually works. It's actually gonna generate your sales or get your business out there.
Well, I deal with the heartbeat of the business. The administrative standpoint of any business is the pulse, is the heartbeat of how you make your money. How do you onboard clients? How do you do business? So in that, what I offer is to help you also get that vision and mission on paper. Understand where you are and where you're trying to go, and you give it to the handler to put all those things together. So if you're coming in and you're a stylist or whatever, you're at the ground level, and no, you can't afford the team, but what I do is that I have resources. I have vendors on my team, several web developers, several videographers and photographers who have different budgets, who have, can offer different things. So I make that match between what they need and the problem and the solution. So we make it all make sense that way. So from the administrative standpoint, I have worked with small businesses, larger business, family owned, on different levels and different types of industry. So having over 15 years in the administrative world, I know that is constant. Your administrative stuff has to be well, so that we can, as a team, can find those people who fit best well and financially with what you're trying to do.
I would say I'm the cook. I provide the ingredients for the recipe. So for what she needs and for what she needs, I provide that. I do it through photography, and I also do it through videography. It just depends what the clients need. It's a lot of times, like even with Brandy and Gwinnetta, I get contacted for web photos or something like that. So my mind is like, how can I make her or him look good as possible? So when they put those pictures on their website and somebody else sees it, they're like, wow, who did your pictures? And that's how I get a bulk of my customers, from word of mouth and people seeing other people's work.
I'll say you probably would say is the brains behind it. So, that comes with strategy and data. And I can't stress enough the importance in this age, and it's not going away because technology is just growing. You have to understand why you're making the decisions you're making when it comes to branding. It may look good, it may feel good, it may help you check something off of a list, but if you don't quite understand Google Analytics or other tools, like there's so many tools that can help you narrow down and say, if I do this, X, create a formula, then it's going to come to this outcome. So a lot of people don't want to do that, and that's okay. I love doing that, and that is what I help people do. But the first thing you have to do with me is to really dump your brain out and get comfortable and come down to a level where I can understand what you're actually trying to do long term. So you got to have a big vision to work with me, and because I got big numbers behind it.
Yeah.
I
like that.
Chad, I'm just sitting here like, come on, y'all, come on. All right, so y'all telling everybody else about what they need to do for their brand. So let me see what you do for your brand. So can you really tell these people how to brand the right way? So how do each one of you display your brand? Like, how do you get yourself out there to your audience? What are some of the things that you do for your brand?
Real quick, because I'm the photographer. Social media, hands down. I post pictures, and I try to post stuff that I do at least 3 times a day. I'm like a sponge. When I see like an advertisement on TV, I try to say, okay, they're doing that, like Flo, Progressive Lady. You see them commercials all the time.
Love Flo.
And they got millions of dollars, but they still run these commercials.
Yep.
So I'm thinking in my mind, they're trying to program you into seeing the vision, to seeing their brand. And that's how I try to do my photography, especially if I capture a real good picture that I know people are going to like. I try to post that particular image 2 or 3 times. So even if you don't like it, you'll remember it. So when the customer wants something similar to that, they'll be like, who did that? That was Modern Stills. And they'll contact me, and they'll actually pull up a picture or a tag or a screenshot and be like, you see this look right here? This is the look I'm going for. So for me, what I do, social media, hands down.
I have to agree with that. Social media is huge in every industry. Every industry is important. But for me, I make sure I love to educate. This is what we're doing here is intentional. we're all building our brand by being here. So you have to be intentional about what it is that you're doing, whether you have to go travel somewhere, whether you're doing a Facebook Live. You've got hashtags. I've got several that I use. But also education is a big thing because virtual assisting has been around for a while, but it's still new to entrepreneurs, and they still don't get, well, why should I have somebody do that when I get my cousin? She could be my assistant. No, she has no clue about the administrative world. How many businesses has she worked with? So you education and being willing to step outside the box, and there's no difference than how we met. We met expanding our brand, making sure we were intentional about being in the room with key people. So for me and my business, I have to meet other business owners. I have to be where they are, and make sure I do whatever it takes to do that. So that's what I'm doing here today, being intentional.
I agree with that. I mean, my biggest thing, this is my brand. You know, I never turn off. There was a time where I did, but when you grow, the more you grow into your brand, you start to understand who you are and who people expect you to be, and you have to choose what are you comfortable with, and this is who I am. So my brand is always out front. I mean, so if you see me in Publix, Walmart, you are going to get the same Mercedes every time, because that's how you understand how to develop content, because I put out in front what I expect my clients to put out with their business, and that's consistency.
Exactly.
So
Consistency.
yeah.
That's a turn on. Oh, I love that word.
Consistency. Ooh, that word. Ooh, that word.
Well,
Yes.
for me, I struggled with branding in the beginning for my own business because I'm so used to working for other people's businesses. So within the last year or two, I've really changed how I brand my personal business. Terrence can tell you, I had never did a photo shoot, never wanted to do a photo shoot. I was a behind the scenes girl as well, just building other people's brands. But I've recognized that like you said, you have to be on all the time, if you want to be an expert, if you want to be known for what you do. So for me, it's networking too, and then affiliations. I don't want to be employed, but I do not mind being affiliated.
Come on.
So I have gotten into to where I've started looking into other businesses that I can be affiliated with, that I know they can funnel me clients and things like that. So I don't have to work so hard trying to reach new people. I can just do good work.
Right.
Right.
Good.
Oh, y'all are just on top of it.
Yes, girl.
Good stuff.
Brandon right way.
I know. So with that being said, I want to take all of you back to the beginning.
Okay.
Before you had the clients, before, all those things took place, what were some of the challenges you faced in getting people to entrust in you to provide that service when you didn't have a brand, when you didn't have anything, and you're saying, hey, I do this, come see me? What were some of those challenges that you faced back then that have helped you along the way now?
Getting paid. I've done a lot of free work, but now I'm not mad about it because I was able to do a lot of practice and able to learn a lot by doing free work and really getting out there and saying, okay, let me show you what I can do for you. Like, let me just show you. Yeah, it was getting paid. Now I get paid, so it's all good.
I second that emotion. It was times where I was doing photo shoots for $40 and $50, and I used to, the time, maybe an hour, 200-300 photos. I used to put so much into it, and they give me $50. I was happy for that little $50 at the time, but like she said, I looked at it as practice because I developed my style. In the course of doing all that, I got my popularity grew for being a photographer, and a lot of people don't even know my past life, what I used to do when I used to rap or be in the studio. They just know me as a photographer, and that me and my brand has totally flipped toward just a whole nother thing. So most definitely doing free work or doing low budget work, I should say.
Yeah, that low budget work is no fun.
Oh, God.
You don't even realize you're doing some of the low budget work until you really start to realize and that's why it's important to network and get around other professionals, because then you realize you're in your own lane. Once you really are doing the work and you realize I have much more of a value than I'm putting out here. And so that was my biggest challenge, was standing up for myself and saying, no, I'm worth this amount of money. And other people try to talk you down and try to quantify it. It's so funny, business owners cannot quantify to you certain things. They can tell you how much you're worth. You just really have to say to them, no, I have to be true to me too, because I have bills and taxes and all those fun things that you have to think about business. So just thinking through what it really costs for me to do it, even if it's not a upfront hard cost. How much would it cost my business licenses, my paperwork, the time I take away from myself, just that value.
Yeah, I have to say that all of that is kind of what I was going through as well. But for me, because I've been an administrative professional for so many years, so that was what I did as an employee. So me being able to juggle became an issue. There was no, question about, what I could do administrative wise. It was like, how many more people I could do? I can't really answer their phone and then answer their phone, so balancing for me was an issue, and getting paid what I'm worth. And then you develop this sense of, I don't have to work with you. So if you can't see what I'm worth, that became so empowering. So I was like, you know what? I don't have to work with you. I can be choosy as a business owner. Business owners, you don't have to do business with everybody. Trust me. You have to stay focused on what your ideal client is and what your ideal client makes, so that you can get what you deserve out of the deal.
And just to piggyback off of that a little bit, a lot of times, especially being a photographer, people they'll shoot that, well, so and so got a camera, or so and so does this, and I'm like, well, so and so isn't me.
Right.
So at the end of the day, once you start to get your worth up, you get your worth up, and you get your experience. Like I say, because I learned more from my failures than I did from my successes. So when I know I can go lighter area, go shoot a wedding, and I know it's gonna be quality work, versus you taking a chance on little Ray your cousin, versus me, it's gonna be a done deal. So that was another thing that I evolved over time.
And I think that goes back to branding yourself too, is something that business owners struggle with, is communicating. Because you should always communicate with your clients. What
educate
your
your clients.
They may not know
exactly.
if you have certifications or you've had a certain experience or certain training. You need to tell them that, so that it quantifies what that value is, and they know. Because just like all the rest of us, they're shopping around. Even though you may have them as a client right now, they will continue to shop for the best bang for their buck. And you just have to remember and remind them, this is what you're getting. Versus this.
And that's why that admin is important, because I'm gonna make sure all their curriculum are up to date. I'm gonna make sure their speaker sheets are on point, so you're gonna already know who you're dealing with before you accept a client.
And I play a back role out there, because I do all my own booking, so I have to be like, you already know how I talk, so I have to really talk slow and try to talk articulate like Mercedes. And like I say, the negotiations sometimes don't go as planned, but I'm in a place now where I can pick and choose some of my clients. So if somebody just constantly asking about pricing, and I can tell that the vibe ain't going good through our consultation, a lot of times I just recommend somebody else.
That communication. And then you get those buzzwords you hear. Like,
exactly.
I already know where it's going.
I'm over here in my brain like, okay, I need to ask about that. They need to hear about that. Like in my mind, like, Lord, just bring me down, Jesus, bring me down. This is me right here all day, Jesus. And so I'm gonna back off everything that y'all said. So when y'all said that was a challenge that y'all had when y'all first started, I just want to get this out here to like new entrepreneurs. Like, you do supposed to know what your worth is, but don't think that, just like they said, most entrepreneurs, when they're starting out in a business, you're gonna have to do some free work. You're gonna have to do things sometimes at a low cost, because it's just like when you have a job. Like, people don't want to pay you unless you have experience. And so you have to go out there and build your portfolio up. You have to get out there and get that experience, and if you don't have it, then nobody don't want to pay you. One problem again with branding is know your worth. So know your worth means know your worth. Is you worth that much money? Or are you worth a little cheaper because you don't have the right experience? Just because everybody tell you to make 30K in 30 days, or however they be doing out here trying to get y'all to get all this money, and you ain't been in business but 6 months, now you want to coach somebody, now you an expert and all this type of stuff like that. Like, what is your portfolio? Like, what are you presenting to your clients? If you don't have anything to present, then you're not worth that money that you're trying to charge them. So I just need to piggyback off.
That's true.
I just need to piggyback that. So let's talk about it. I heard another word that I think is key, essential to business success that people really, really don't get. And even though I've been in business for a long time, I'm just really recognizing what it really truly means, and the slogan, your network is equals or creates your network. And I think in the question prior, a couple of y'all said something about your network.
Oh yeah.
And so literally every single one of y'all on this panel, I met you or started working with you through networking with you.
Mm-hmm.
I literally met all y'all through a network.
Yep.
Whether it was an event or whether it was a person or whatever, and it has helped my brand because, you know, I've built a strong relationship with key players, like you said, for my brand. So let's talk a little bit about how do you all feel about networking and how you feel it is, how important do you feel it is to a brand?
It's crucial.
Crucial.
Vital. It is.
It's crucial.
Yeah.
You gotta be, strategic when you network.
Yeah.
Because some people just go and just for, it doesn't have a reason behind them going. Being intentional is serious. Like, that's got to be one of the things that you do, because you end up saving money or losing money because you're not being intentional about what you're doing, about the networking events that you go to, about the people you keep company with. It's crucial. So therefore, you got to make sure if you are the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you evaluate that. So you might want to make sure you're around people, and I talk about this all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure you're around people who are doing it bigger and better than you are, because then you can make sure you can gauge the learning gap here. Now I have something to attain. Now I have something to learn from these people because they've been there, done that. So networking is important, and it's got to be intentional. So make sure you have a plan when you go to certain networking events, and you're not just to chop it up, but there's somebody there that you want to meet, or you make a goal to meet at least these 5 people who do XYZ. So be intentional about your networking, but it is crucial to your business.
Yeah, I try to have different circles.
Yes.
I try to be maybe like, I do a lot of models, some exotic dancers and stuff. So I mean, I'm just, and they pay. So I'm in that,
They got
I'm in that
paid.
circle. But I'm also in wedding circles for brides. Now I want to go to more bridal events this year. So that's something that's on my to-do list. But doing commercials, I've done dozens of local commercials. So when a business wants to do a commercial, I have people at certain media places that actually call me and be like, well, we can't do it. Can you take care of this client for us? So just having your right circles and networking within those circles, I think is key to having an efficient networking program.
And I'm just going to piggyback off when you say right circles.
Yes.
Right,
This
so
is
Right
something we were talking about earlier. You need to be really careful about how you define your circles. And I think sometimes we get where we are comfortable and you really limit yourself and you create a blind spot. You create so many blind spots. It's like driving down the road and you have a car with no mirrors because you're not networking and you're not having people that make you a little uncomfortable. You need to be somewhere where you're a little uncomfortable, like, I really don't know that. Get over that and just keep moving, because top 2 things I see that keep people from networking is fear, judgment, and lack of knowledge. And I'm just gonna be real. Can we be real?
That's what you're here for, girl.
100.
Get your vocabulary up.
Yes. Very
People
important.
always talk to me about that. Goodness, always picking on me because of words I use, and I don't do it on purpose. I might say, colloquial or something, but it's fine to be colloquial. And when I say colloquial, that means like common. That's common language we may use. I might say, "What up?" Something like that. But when you're in a business room, you need to have a different level of respect for who you're dealing with. You're not gonna go up to Dan Amos and say, "What up?" Okay?
Nope.
You can't connect with people if you've never ever been exposed to their world. So we all want that Aflac money, W.C. Bradley money, TSIS money, but you don't talk that language.
Come on.
So you've got to get your vocabulary up. And in this day and age, there's no excuse. You could Google everything. We Googled all the showtimes for Black Panther to make sure we had to pre-sell the tickets. You can Google to get your vocabulary up and really dedicate time. If you have a shortcoming, make sure that you exercise that like you would do any sport.
Yes.
And every day, dedicate time to get your vocabulary. If I always tell Terrence and I talk about this because we kick it all the time, I'm not going to come down here for you.
Come on.
Because my job as a business owner and a person that what I do is to bring you up. Because we're never going to have the money or the capital to keep going and to network with each other if we're constantly right here and my vocabulary is right here,
Yes.
and I go down the street and get my check right here. Like, you're limiting yourself.
Come on.
Get out your box. Go find something else to do.
Yes.
Just keep it real.
Everything is
I want to know what the viewers got to say, because I know it's some people that do not agree with her. But I understand what she's saying. I do. But I know there are a lot of viewers that will probably say, well, I'm a millionaire and I don't speak on that level of vocabulary.
True.
You know what I mean?
But you gotta understand, when they talk about your lane, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what is your lane?
You can
So it's different types.
They would say based on their profession.
Exactly. It's different millionaires.
Yeah.
It's millionaires that play ball. It's millionaires that do comedians. It's millionaires that go on TV. It's millionaires that have businesses. But a ball player, especially when they first get drafted and they get millions, they don't necessarily have no certain type of vocabulary,
Right.
but as they grow and they want to expand their brand, then their vocabulary is gonna have to change. Like, I just watched this thing on LeBron James and Kevin Durant, where they was in the car. I guess it was a car interview or whatever, and then they talked about how like LeBron, when he was first, he came out of high school going to pro ball, and basically explaining how you can't stay here. You know what I'm saying? And then those people who don't have a vocabulary, what they ain't telling you is that. Not that they're suffering. That they're paying somebody who got the vocabulary to go.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying some people would disagree, because that's what they would do. They would pay somebody.
Yeah, you gotta pay
like
somebody.
rappers. Every time I see rappers doing an interview, sometimes, and we supposed to be on the panel, but we still having a discussion. But sometimes when I see rappers do interviews, it really, like, I really get kind of angry, because so many of them cannot speak. And it's like, children are watching you, and they're thinking that it's okay to talk this way. You know what I mean? Just because they're looking at, okay, he's a rapper, he's a celebrity, and he talk like this, and he wears clothes like this, and that type of thing, and they think that it's cool. And like you said, you know what I mean? You got to be able to adapt to wherever you are.
Yes.
Sometimes you need, like, sometimes if I'm somewhere, I need to be saying what up and stuff like that.
Right.
But sometimes, and that's me, because that's me all day, every day. But sometimes I'm somewhere and my children will say, Mom, you got on your bank voice today. Yeah. So that's what they call it. But, you just have to turn it on and off.
That's right.
But I agree.
Let me add this though. I'm sorry, we're on a panel with y'all now. Let me add this though. But that's the problem with the world.
Right.
Yeah. This is why we have Genius Talk. That's why we created it. Because the problem with the world and people leveling up and becoming millionaires and different stuff like that, we only tell one type of story.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We don't get the background. The interviewers who be interviewing these celebrities and different stuff like that don't ask the right kind of questions. Right. So if they're out here and they're asking the right type of questions and getting the information, and then now the kids ask them, well, who on your team if you're a rapper or whatever? What do your team do? Like, how do you get your money?
Yeah,
if they interview like that, then
they don't even say a team.
Yeah.
They just talk about where they are now.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
how can I get this such song, such?
Exactly.
Okay, they don't talk about, but how did you get to where you were writing this song and you were doing this? They don't talk about the background work that, I was selling out of my car, I went and did all these shows, you know what I'm saying? I didn't know how to talk. They don't talk about any of those things that we're talking about right now. This is Genius Talk.
Okay, so we're gonna stop talking. We'll get back to the panel.
Real quick though, T.I., off the rapper T.I., when he first came out, he was real street, and I don't know who his publicist was, but I Tip Talk now.
Yeah.
He actually had training to where his publicist got, I don't know who did it, but it got his vocabulary up to a whole nother level. He could be real articulate or real ghetto, and to be a multi-millionaire like he is, he had to know when to turn those switches off and on. I think he's real good at that too.
You know what? And that's another thing. We also have to, even us, we always have to be concerned about professional development. Where she was saying we all have weaknesses, but we have to continue to exercise them. Right. So don't be afraid of what that weakness is, and if you need to learn more about your industry. So make sure you put in your budget, business owners, some professional development so that you can continue to be the expert and you can talk in any arena, because language and how your dialect, depending on where you are, you got to be able to switch that thing on and off so that you can be whoever you need to be on whatever level you need to be on.
Yes. It's your turn, girl. I know we don't got off track. It's your turn. It's your turn.
So I guess my next question would be, how do you stay updated? Like, how do you all keep up on what the new trends are or what's changing? Like, we talked about social media and these different things. How do you guys stay up to date on those things? Being that you guys are people that brand people, you got to be on top of it all the time. So what do you do so that you stay in the know?
So being that I'm a technical person dealing with websites and things like that, I am looking at data. Like you said, I'm looking at data, Facebook pixels, Google Analytics, things like that, trying to figure out how I can make sure that my clients are getting what's gonna work. And the only way for me to do that is to study. I read a lot. Those classes that Google gives, I go to them. When Wix does a convention, I travel to New York and I go to the conventions. And I make sure that I know, because I don't want to just be doing what worked last year just because I want to make money. I want it to work. I want it to be good.
Right. That's professional development. You want to be ahead of the trend. You don't want to be on trend. You want to be ahead of it. So heavy research, heavy reading, and just kind of, honing your skills. You got to hone your skills so that you can be able to translate into whatever it is that you're working on for your client. So continuous research, development, and make sure, he was talking about different circles. So you're going to have industry circles, you're going to have business owners, all these different circles. So make sure you have an industry circle, someone that's in your profession who you can bounce ideas off of, run, different things by them so that they can help, you can help each other in being better at what you do.
I'm old school, and my answer is simple. I read. Even though I'm reading off a laptop, and it might not always be a book, but I read a lot. I'm self-taught in my trade of photography and videography, and I have hundreds of thousands of log hours of just me reading different forums. I emulate the greats, so if I find out about a videographer or a photographer, I read their bio, their story, their take, their philosophy on what I do, and I don't copy. I just get the information and I try to craft it in my mind to how I want to put it out, because copying never really gets you nowhere. It can only get you so far. I try to be original when it comes to my image making, so reading and just doing research, and like she said, staying ahead of the trend, but also like a lot of the, I could say going back to models, they like the airbrush look. And what I try to do is I want your picture to look nice without it. I know if you invest in makeup, which a lot of them they have, A word that sometimes. But if they get a good makeup, they get their hair done, and they get their nails done, you're gonna look pretty already. So I don't have to put as much airbrush on you. So that's how I try to market myself. If everybody's doing this, I'm gonna make you look pretty another way. So when people see that, it's my image gonna stand out because it's not looking like everybody else's.
I'm just so glad everybody's reading. I read a lot, you can tell. I read a lot, and I still like a hard copy book. For those who are looking into the PR world, if you don't know who Judy Smith is, you've got to read, because you need to know your industry experts, the top of the top, and that may be people that are way out of your bounds and out of your state, out of your region, in different places in the world, and the news isn't always going to put them in front of you. We have a lot of black billionaires in the world, and they're not listed in Bloomberg all the time. They are not listed in Forbes all the time, but there are other magazines, there are other periodicals, and sometimes you got to dedicate a little bit of research trying to find those, but they have so much information it can point you in the right direction. I watch the stock markets a lot, so I know where the next industries are going. You have to watch them. One of the things that Dr. Wright said at one of his symposiums back to professional development, watch where the money is going. You could sit and argue all day with people about what the trends are and what you need to do here and what's popular here, and that'll be gone tomorrow. You need to watch where the money is and get yourself prepared for stuff. Another thing I look at is a lot of what's happening on the forefront, what the government has an administration for small businesses, and that keeps my eye on the ball, like to how fast or how slow I move. So I've always wanted to have an AA contract. So I know you have to have certain steps to get that done, and you got to have certain people in your pocket, and having mentors that are in huge. That is a huge mentor of mine.
Huge.
And we can, and I somebody you can really talk real with and share your frustrations with, and that's how you grow. Yeah.
And getting out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The first time I went to a Wix convention, before, right after I became a Wix expert, I went to New York by myself. I didn't have anybody to go with me. I tried to get like so many people. I was like, you want to go with me? I couldn't find anybody to go with me. And, I was in a space where I was maybe 1 out of 3 black females, web designers, probably one of the youngest. And like you said, vocabulary, I'm like, writing everything down because these people are way above me in experience, but talent wise I got it. I'm there. So you have to be willing to step outside of your comfort zone and really get the information when it's available to you, because sometimes it's not about money, it's not about knowing or being the best. Sometimes it's just about seizing opportunity when it comes. Because I think a lot of us will pass up on opportunities because we're scared or because we make excuses and miss out on things a lot as young entrepreneurs. So just step outside of your comfort zone.
Get comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And also one last thing, do your research so because sometimes we think we're unlike people. But if you look up the story of Mark Zuckerberg, if you don't know that story, that is a mogul in our lifetime.
Yeah.
Mark Zuckerberg didn't come from anything, but he was at an elite school. And actually, what you're saying about seizing the opportunity, he sought the opportunity and was ahead. He wasn't the smartest person in the room. He had a whole bunch of smart people around him that could run the numbers and that were dedicated. He was just willing to put the hours in. And the 2 men that had the idea, they had the money and they sat on the idea. And then they got upset and tried to sue him later. And it's too late. Once someone's already built on your empire, when you should have moved on,
Yes.
you should do your research on entrepreneurs and how they moved, and you'll see really you're not that far behind. If you just put in a little more effort and be strategic about it, those 8 hours in a day will be so much more productive for you.
Absolutely. Amen.
I'm so over here like, y'all see how I'm looking? I'm like, okay then, Jesus, I knew I had brought the right people. But y'all is going in. And if you're watching this video, I need you to share it out, right? When we get off of here and you feel like you got some good nuggets, please tag people that are new entrepreneurs, existing entrepreneurs. It doesn't matter. Tag an entrepreneur, tag somebody in entertainment, because this is key. A lot of information that they're providing, you might not hear nowhere else. It depends on what your circle is like. It depends on who you are around, whether you're going to hear it or not. Because everybody's not willing to really give you real life knowledge on what it takes to build a brand. And they really giving out some good niggas. So y'all got to share this video. I'm just like, okay, Lord, this is it. Like, really, like, this is it. Like, I'm like, okay, we might need to go 3 hours. Because I'm like, this is so important. Like, I know at this point in my mind, I'm sitting over here like, I got to do a part 2 because this is so essential to a business. Like, this is so essential. And so I'm not even going on my note cards no more. Okay, so this is my pet peeve about people and their brands, and not just necessarily new entrepreneurs or new people in business. This is my issue with people who have been in business for years. Okay, so what I've found, especially being that I've started this television show, but I've also I've become a business strategist, even though I've been doing business. Business strategist to me is new just because I'm trying to monetize off of it now, even though I've done it for free for years. And what I've noticed is people not taking their brand serious when it comes to photos, when it comes to bios, when it comes to web design. Because everybody like, oh, you could just do your own website. You could just take your pictures on the iPhone. You could just write up, something small about yourself. And then when you ask people forward, because we're in a digital age. We're in an age that has a lot of different media outlets, not just TV and radio. You have bloggers, you have people who are doing what we're doing, and you need information about the people that you're bringing on and that you want to display. And so what I've found is that people don't have bios. People don't even know what a speaker sheet or a one sheet is, but you're a speaker.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're a coach, but you don't have a portfolio or a resume. You are artist, but you don't have a dialogue of who you work with or what CDs you have or anything about who you are as a business and as a brand. So I just want y'all insight of how y'all feel about it.
Oh, I totally agree with that, because being an admin, that's what we do. We deal with paperwork. We deal with how you are represented on paper. And they do as well in terms of the website and things. Those are the things that they see first before they get to meet the person. So you want to make sure whatever your collateral is, whatever your branding, your social media, your photos, all those things speak for you before they will actually have a conversation with you, the person. So you got to make sure all of that is on point. The funneling system, the how you correspond, how you follow up, and how you talk with people, all those things have to be on point. So I totally agree with you. You can't say you something and you don't have anything to show for it, because we want to see what the facts, what the proof of the pudding. You know what I'm saying? Before I decide to invest or pay you this amount of money to speak in front of these people, so you've got to have your collateral together. All your things have to look good in order, so that by the time I meet you, I'm already wowed by who you are, who I'm at, and you show up to meet the expectations of what it is that you're putting out to the world. So it is very key and very important.
When it comes to photography, especially if somebody's trying to sell a product or something like that, for instance, hair. A female might book me and say she's trying to sell hair, and she'll get a model. And if that model doesn't look a certain way, I'll tell her, like, you're trying to sell hair, but her hair doesn't look that, or what I'm saying, it doesn't look as good as I feel like it can look. And that's what's going to happen is, if I take this picture and it doesn't live up to your expectation, you're going to blame the photographer. But what do you should be bringing your talent? So I think people need to understand that, and it's touchy, especially if somebody just starting off and they don't have the budget.
Yeah.
It's hard for them to get the proper tools sometimes to get that look. So I've actually, when it comes to my photography, I ain't gonna say I dropped the price, but I made a package available for somebody. If you just need 5 to 6 photos, I have a package that's low enough for you to afford. Instead, you have to spend $200-300 for a package. If you just need a couple of photos, you can afford this one, and you're still getting the same as a good client like Gwinnetta or Mrs. Kenny will be getting. So that's a service I offer, just to kind of just meet people in the middle, especially people that I know that might not have that much money.
Can I be real too? I'm gonna be real. Well, keep it 100 real quick. So the other thing about what I do and how I talk and making sure everything you do is intentional about that team that they probably can't afford right now. Well, bartering is king also.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
So you have something to offer, and that person that you're trying to do business has something to offer you too, whether it be your hair, your photography, your web, whatever. So you building relationship is also not always about the exchange of money. It's also about what we can do for each other to help us reach the goal. So when I have my hair done, my makeup done, all of that is taken care of. Because why? I've already had a conversation. I have a relationship with my beautiful stylist, Brandy Lady B. Let me shout you out real quick. But that's what it's all about. If we're in business or to help each other build your brand, then you make sure you put them on every chance that you get, so that you're not incurring the price of getting your hair done or your nails done. There's a lot. I don't know. I'm crazy. I got this flamboyant lifestyle I'm trying to live, and I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna pay for that. But I know it's gonna happen. But I know I can get there quicker through the relationships that I have with people. You go seek the person that has what you want, and you decide, well, what can we do? What can I do? Because I ain't got what you're trying to charge, or what can we do for each other that's gonna help us get to that same level. So bartering, think about that.
Also, I think for new entrepreneurs where they don't have that budget and all that kind of stuff, they gotta realize business is changing. Online business is changing. I mean, that's my area. Online business is changing. Social media is changing. If you aren't ready to invest in your business, you might not be ready to go into business
Exactly.
just yet.
That part.
I have clients, and I did the same thing, Terrence. I have a package. I have a starter package for my brand new clients who aren't ready for a 10-page website just yet, and it's cheaper than the most. But I tell my clients all the time, I turn people away for a lack of quality, because if you come to me with a lack of quality, then it diminishes my work, and it makes my work look not as well. And I can't give you my best because you're not bringing me your best. So I always tell my new entrepreneurs, if you really, really want to do this thing, and I know it's a process because we all started somewhere, go to work an extra shift. Don't get your nails done. Don't get your hair done. Save up for what you want to do and make it happen. Because when I started Chic Studio, I grinded. I worked and I did some extra stuff and some extra stuff over here. I went without so that I could invest in the things that I need. And it was able to help me catapult way faster than other people, because the brand looked the way it was supposed to look, and it was tailored from top to bottom, foundation to everything. So I just say invest and really think about what you say you want and really follow up with the action.
Yes. All that.
Yeah,
That's very good information.
know what season you're in, because I mean, a lot of people. I'm still in between. I wear several hats. It's like so many. Community advocate, and I work for the school system, and then I have this business over here, and you just have to weigh the cost of one thing over another. And be real with yourself about what you can afford to put out and what you can't afford to put out. It does no good to build have a whole client list, maybe 20 people you're working with, and you can only give each of them an hour. You're not going to push out a good product, and in the end, you're going to be frustrated. Your client's going to be frustrated, and you're really putting the cart before the horse. So really just think about what season are you in, so that you don't throw a whole bunch of money away on things that you're not ready for yet. Because there's nothing wrong with, if you're a one-man show and you're really tailoring it down, and X amount of years I will have to put someone here and I have to place here. Don't even want to push your vision too far ahead of what you can handle. But position yourself, be real with yourself, and prepare for the next level too.
Bouncing off what she said about that,
That's good.
it's a famous photographer in Charleston. And he put on he had a seminar online, and I watched it. He left all his contact information on there. So I take advantage of stuff like that. I hit him up on Twitter, and I ask him questions all the time, and he hits me back. So I'm like, okay, that thing's pretty cool. And one thing he said, going on what you said about wasting money, was I asked him, should I get a studio? Because I really want my own studio, photography studio one day. He asked me, whenever you get your rent and utilities factored in, if you're not making 3 times that amount, whatever that's going to be through your photography, he said, don't invest. He said, however you're doing it now, keep on doing it to that fee, till you meet that fee. And I thought about it. I just did the math. So I know it's going to probably be like, I ain't making nowhere near that now. So that kind of made me back off wasting that money. I still go to other studios and just have my clients book through them because it's working. But until I get that, enough customers coming in to where I can afford a studio, I'm just not going to get one. I think that goes on to what she was saying as for making a wise decision. Cause I was this close to getting one. I really wanted to. And I was like, no, I'm just going to be breaking even, investing all this money just to say I got a studio because I'm a photographer. And I'm doing okay doing it how I'm doing it. So I just piggybacking on what she said.
Yeah, be creative with the tools you have. Be professional where you can be professional. If you start small. I mean, LinkedIn, your Facebook. If that's all you have, it needs to look good. Selfies are not going to work for promoting your business. I know most people like it gets you attention, but it's not going to get you clients. Let me put the other hat on, because I've had to be on the other side of the table where I have to choose advertisers, videographers, and build a creative team. And when I look at that, I scan. I will look at your Facebook page. I will look at your LinkedIn. I'll look for your portfolio. I will see how many clicks it takes for me to get to your page. I'll see where your page lands. Does it look professional? I look at the bottom of the footer to see how your page was built. Because I feel like if you don't invest in your business, why should I invest in or push my clients towards you? Because I'm also a gatekeeper for a lot of my clients. That's right. And to make sure that they don't get in a contract or something that's not going to be.
Baby, she don't play. Now tell you she don't play. She don't play.
And it also goes back to the professional development that we were talking about. I started building websites for my first online business. My first online business, I couldn't afford a web designer. So I started researching and learning how to do a little bit of code and learning how to do a little bit of this. And 7 years later, I'm a Wix expert. So it also goes into, you know, it's not always investing money. Sometimes it's investing time. It's investing in that class. You know, when I couldn't afford a photographer for my online boutique, I went and bought all the photography equipment, and I paid a photographer to come in and show me what I needed to do because I couldn't afford to do a photo shoot every 2 weeks. So sometimes that investment is not always just in paying people to do things, but paying to learn.
Yes.
And which your mentor will do as well. They are so key to your success because, like you were saying earlier, that's how you skip the learning curve because they're gonna already give you that information, what pitfalls to avoid and what to expect, or you know what happens when I get in that room with all these billionaires. What I'm supposed to do? You know, they're gonna give you that insight. So make sure you know you're okay with asking the question. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to ask questions you think are dumb because they're not. So just it's okay to be vulnerable, but be careful who you're vulnerable with. But just you be strategic in that as well.
And keep real people around you because there's no reason you should have a crappy looking website and you say you have a whole bunch of friends and nobody told you your website looks like that. And I'm just saying, I mean, we're just keeping it real.
You keep it real.
Like you have friends. I mean, it's just like if I walked out with my hair on top of my head like this and I put a little lipstick on and everybody's like, "You cute today, girl." No, you're not cute. You need to have someone to tell you when your stuff doesn't look right. When your business card, you know, your business card. One of my pet peeves is flimsy business cards that look like they just got printed off of nowhere. There's so many cheap options. Just Google it. There's so many ways to get a business card printed. Those are simple things that it shows if you did it and it looks bad, it's lazy. You're better off not doing it and taking the time and doing it right than you handing me a piece of cardboard that's just cut into what a business card looks like.
That you print off the printer.
That
you bought the business. And then the thing about that is that, you know, what we're not saying is that, you know, you do have to start somewhere. But you have to identify what are those tools that may not be that expensive that I'm going to need for my brand or my business that is key for me to invest in. Now, mind you, they have digital business cards, so you can go get a digital business card instead of print out a business card. But you need to go figure out how you get a digital business card instead of trying to print these little business cards that's not worth anything, you know, or whatever. And then what I hate to see is these little homemade flyers. Like when I started in business 11 years ago, you know, it wasn't that many mentors around. No, it wasn't people. Everybody wasn't a coach, nor was it this much technology. So for me, you know, most of the time we had to do Word, you know, and then just do a little flimsy flyer. But it makes no sense for you to be building a business, having an event that you want people to pay top dollar for, and then you got a homemade flyer. When there's fiber out there, there's professional graphic designers who you can pay $5 to get a better looking flyer than a homemade flyers. It's so many websites that have templates that you can just put your information in and pay a small fee for to have a more professional flyer. What you give out to the world is what they're going to accept from you. And if you are giving the world crap and cheap stuff, then that's what they're going to think about you. And then you can't be around here asking people to pay for a service and pay for a product and give you their money, and then you are not even willing to invest in yourself. You got to be able to know that it's ways to get money. I'm going back to when I started in business 11 years ago, and it ain't even as hard now today. When I opened my business, I have no money, literally. I left my job, and I just had a plan. And so what I had to do, I had to make some homemade gospel CDs that I know people was gonna buy. And I had to get my whole team out there and say, you know what, let me burn these CDs, because we need a computer. Let me burn these CDs because we need some paper and some ink. Let me burn these CDs because I ain't got no money. I don't know where to go get it from. So you got to be humble at your beginnings. We got to stop using this excuse that we don't have no money. Lord, I went in there, they're supposed to. But you got to stop acting like you ain't got no money. God ain't never gave you a vision, and He won't make the provision for it. Right? So let us stop talking about what we don't have and then start walking into what we supposed to have. And let's start trusting that, and believing, because if you speak it into existence, it will come. And so we got to start saying, it ain't about, do I got that money? Well, I got $10, so what can I do with this $10 to make my brand and my business look a little bit better?
Take it.
Come on. What's your next question, girl? We got to get out of here.
Part 2.
Okay, we're getting ready to go now. I guess that's supposed to be going in my preaching mode. Lord Jesus, forgive me. All right, go in my preaching mode before we leave. But I just, again, appreciate each and every one of y'all for coming, taking your time out just to spit the knowledge that you all have provided tonight. So before we leave, I want everybody to go down the road. Again, tell them who you are. Tell them what service you do provide, and tell them how to find you.
I'm Brandy Kennedy, web designer, CEO of Chic Studio Digital Marketing. You can find me at chicstudio.com on every social media channel that there is, Chic Studio. And I will be happy to tell you about web design, digital marketing, and anything else that you need starting out.
I'm Mercedes Parham. I'm a creative engineer. I wear many hats. So if you want to get in contact with me and you're serious about being a client, and I mean serious, you can find me on LinkedIn at Mercedes Parham, Facebook at Mercedes Parham. Everywhere you need to find me is at Mercedes Parham, and I'm only taking clients by referral.
Ooh, selective.
Well, my name is Terrence Flowers, the Mechanical Eye. You can find me on my website at modeststills.com. I'm also a videographer. I shoot commercials, ads, short films, anything like that. So you can also hit me on Instagram at Modest Stills. So that's how you find me.
Awesome. Hi everybody, my name is Shayna Boston, the behind the scenes queen and the handler for Boston First Administrative Management Services. We provide virtual administrative services to small business owners, busy professionals, and executive men and women. We handle all those mundane administrative tasks so you can focus on income producing tasks. You can find us on all the social media platforms at BOST1ST AMS, and that's Boston First AMS, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Google, and YouTube. And also my website at Boston First, that's FIRSTAMS.com.
All right.
All right, then. Well, I am Gwinnetta Wright. For those who don't know, I am the business strategist. So I help you strategize your business so that you can take your business to the next level. I'm also a tax professional. So one thing we talked about with your brand is those key components that they provide. But one thing that a lot of people don't talk about is having your finances and your business right when it comes to money. So I also do money strategies. I have a money planner that I just launched specifically for business owners that helps you understand your tax obligation, plus how to track your income and your expenses in a simplified form. So if you don't understand QuickBooks, if you don't understand Quickens, that you're keeping up with your finances. And you can find that money planner on mymoneyplanner.info. Not only that, I'm here at Gwen Business Corner, a TV personality. I wear a whole lot of hats, making sure I'm providing you with all the information that you need, not just from myself, but from everybody on this panel. And if you need more information when it comes to branding the right way, my book will be out in May. And in that book, I'll be talking about not only everything that they do up here, but how to find your target audience, how to create and monetize your talent. So definitely go to my page, like me on all social media outlets at Gwinnetta Wright, and also go to my website and check out my portfolio. Everything that I do is on my website at www.gwinnettawright.com. D, tell them how to find you, baby.
Well, I'm not going through my whole spiel tonight with all the hats that I wear. But you can find me on Gwen's Business Corner with Deontay B. You can also find me at The Real Deontay B at all social media outlets. And you might see me on your big screen or your television, so you can stay tuned for me.
Yes.
And I am The Real Deontay B, the entertainment business personality. And this is Gwen's Business Corner with Deontay B, Junior Talk. And we're out of here. Bye.
Yay.